Hello, Eurovision friends. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories, for my attempt of predicting the full result of the Grand Final of Eurovision 2025. So everything from, and I'll use the tier maker again, from the top 5 to the top 10 to the bottom 6, who will be last, who will be second. I'll try to predict it all. However, I already have to tell you that I'm most probably going to update my winner prediction tomorrow, because I'll watch the jury final tonight. And this year I'm just so unsure about certain things. So for example, if France, like last year, Slimane had a bit of a problem with his vocals in the jury final, and I think that really hurt him. So if there's an issue with the sand in Luan's performance, or whatever, I don't know, Austria falls off the boat, or Kai has a problem with I don't know what, then I want to include that in the prediction. So I'll do that tomorrow. I'll still try to predict the top 5 and also try to see who I think at this moment the winner will be. This should be a lot of fun. I will do this the following way. We will go through the final in the running order. So also a reminder to you what the running order is. And then I'll try to predict the chances of each single country to do well in Eurovision. We have to remember that we have two very different voting systems in Eurovision, which each make up 50% now in the final. It's almost like we have two contests, really. We have a jury contest and we have a televote contest. And the dynamics of these two votes are very different. I think for the juries, you have to be a compromise, sort of, because if one person hates the entry of this 5-person jury, if one of these 5 really hates an entry, that will lower its chances to get high points from that country. If 2 hate the entry, then it's already kind of over almost. And for the televote, it's almost the opposite. You should stand out. You should maybe have some people love you enough to vote for you. And then it doesn't really matter whether everyone else really dislikes your performance. In a televote, it's really better kind of to be distinct and unique and please a few people than please as many as possible. In the jury, it's the opposite. So we'll have that in mind, or I'll have that in mind, trying to predict this. Let's get started. Kyle Alessandro and Lider for Norway is opening the show. This is charting already in quite a few countries. It is kind of a standard pop song. Marcus and Martinez were kind of similar, I feel like, in the generic pop song radio friendliness, but great performers with a good staging, and they managed to come top 10. I think he could do well with the juries as well because of his great vocal performance. And so I think this could be quite interesting, actually, as a result. So let's go to the tier maker. Sorry. I'll put Norway in the top 15 right now. So this is not set in stone. I will change things at the end. I will already warn you about that, but I'll do my best at already predicting as best I can. So I think maybe top 15 is a good prediction for Norway. After Norway, we have Luxembourg, Laura Thorne, La Poupée monte le son. This is very early on in the running order, which doesn't hurt Norway as much as it does this, I think, because this needs a bit of support from the televote. I think we could see something similar to last year, where Luxembourg gets like 130 points or something from the juries maybe, and then not a lot from the televoters, especially because it is so early on in the running order. And also there are other French songs coming later on, maybe Claude and also Maman from France and Voyage from Switzerland might hurt this. This is also obviously the first female-led pop song that is being performed, and the others coming later might outshine this a little bit, or people might just not have seen this. So I'm a bit worried for Luxembourg, to be quite honest, and I'll put this in the top 20 for now, I think. Yeah, for now. Then next we have Tommy Cash and Espresso Macchiato. I think this was a big favorite to win the televote. He is charting in so many countries. It's incredible. He has an incredible social media campaign as well. I have heard that posters of him are all over Rome, which I find very funny. Targeting only one of the biggest markets is not the best idea. He should be putting these posters up in Montenegro and stuff, where not that many people vote, maybe. Anyway, he will get a big televote, even though he's third in the running order. The thing is, I think the juries will probably destroy this quite a bit because it is an over-the-top performance, a fun, jokey entry, and the juries don't really like that. Here comes in what I just said. If two people in a jury don't like this and put this last or very low, then it's almost certain that it will not get that many points from that specific country, and that could happen in a lot of juries. So I think that Estonia will still be top 10 with a very good televote, but might not do better because of the juries. I think that makes sense. Next up, Israel, Yuval Raphael, New Day Will Rise. Very early on in the running order once again, but a good lead-in with 3 pop songs. Hurricane last year was also very early on in the running order and did really well in the televote, and I'm expecting the same thing to happen this year. It's second in the odds as well. It's a very similar song to last year. So it's very hard to predict, to be honest, but I think a similar thing could happen like last year, where the juries give this 50, 60, 70 points and the televote a lot more. So because of the televote, I think I'd predict a top 5 for now, but we'll see what other songs come up later on. Then we have Catharsis, Tavo Akis for Lithuania. This I'm quite unsure about. We had Gorte last year with a very intense rock song. This has a very different vibe, but in some ways it's similar. I think this can get a few points from Lithuanians living all across Europe who will like this. I think this can vibe with a lot of people feeling a bit of a disconnect with the world at the moment. It is well staged, but most entries in the final are actually well staged. This is a tough one. I think the juries might not go for this. They don't like rock. They don't like national language, so they don't really have a lot of choice if they really want to go for only English entries this year. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Maybe I'll put this in the top 20, but ahead of Luxembourg for now. Again, I'll move a few things around later on. Then Melody and Esa Diva. I think this could be a surprise. It's charting in a few countries, not that many, but for a big 5 country, it's doing quite well. And there just isn't a song like this year. You could say Luxembourg, maybe. You could say Finland. Who else? Maybe Malta, but not really. They are really different vibes. This is the J-Lo Chanel kind of entry. Chanel had maybe a bit of a better song, but this was staged very well. This is a Eurovision performance par excellence. I would say, look at this picture. She looks like Beyoncé a bit. So Spanish Beyoncé. And so I would say that Spain, I think for the top 10, we have too many other very good entries. So I'll put it in the top 10 later on. For now, I'll put it in the top 15. And people will be surprised that this will do rather well. I forgot the juries. They will love her vocals, I think. She was very good vocally. And this is a pop song that they also gravitate towards usually. So I think top 15, maybe even top 10 makes sense for this. Then we have Zifferblatt, Bird of Prey for Ukraine. This is a big question mark as well. I'm not sure about the televote for this one. I think this will get less than Twochi did, and they still came 6th, I guess. But maybe 8th or 9th in the televote. And the juries, I really don't know. I think this has all the elements the juries don't really like. It's rock, it has national language, it has singing that is not usual to the jury's ears. The staging is quite out there as well with the colors and everything and the outfit. I do think that the televote should help this into the top 10, I'm guessing. Yeah, top 10 or top 15, we'll see in a minute. If I change that, then we have Remember Monday, what the hell just happened? I don't know how I would feel if I were Ukraine, if the song after me was called that. I love this song. I love them. I love their interactions. The staging for this is all wrong. I think the outfits aren't good enough. I think their vocals sounded good to me, but others have said that one of them was a bit off during the semifinal performance. This could get some jury votes if they get the harmonies right and the vocals pop, so to speak. But I don't see this do well in the televote at all, because there is Spain, there's Finland, there's lots of other entries that you can go for in this lane, even though I don't really know what the lane of the song really is, which might be another problem, that I don't really know who the demographic for this is. Apparently I am, because I love the song, but I am worried. And I'm not only doing this because the UK has been bottom 6 so often, like Germany as well, but the probability that a song from the automatic qualifiers is in the bottom 6 is quite high, because they didn't have to qualify. All the other songs already at least got enough televote. So another candidate for a last place would be a qualifier from the semifinal that just made it with the audience, and then the juries don't like it at all. And in the bigger competition field that is in the final, they get lost. That happened to Norway last year. They were 10th in the semifinal, made it to the final, and the juries didn't really vote for it. The audience didn't vote for it, and so it came last. And either an automatic qualifier or something like that for last place, I'm guessing. Very unfortunate. I really like them, as I said. Then we have JJ and Wasted Love. I am so unsure about this. I can't even tell you. So many people love this, think it is amazing. I can't quite connect to it, but I'm just one person, and voting in Germany doesn't really do anything because there are so many people voting that my 20 votes don't really count. My feeling is just that this is a bit of a divisive entry. Some people love it and some people don't like it as much. So predicting this to win the jury feels a bit weird to me, because there might be 1 or 2 jury members that don't get it and the other 3 do get it, and then it still doesn't get the highest jury points because there's another compromise that works better. And for the televote, I'm not sure how they will react at all either. It's been going down a teeny tiny bit in the odds because Kai has been going up and France has been going up. It is charting in a few countries, which is a very positive sign for the televote. So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, this is a probable top 5, so I'll put it in the top 5. But about winning, I'm not so sure. But again, I'll do another prediction tomorrow. Then Iceland. Let's go back to the images so you remember what Iceland is, even though if you watch this video, I'm sure you remember all of the entries. This is so fun, so engaging, so cool. I'm a bit worried for this as well, even though I love it again. This might have been one that came into the final 9th or 10th in the semifinal and then gets a bit lost in the big final, because people that want a fun entry might go for Estonia, especially now they also have Sweden again as competition. I'm not sure about this one, so I'll put Iceland in the top 20. I do think that there is something going on where a lot of people like Iceland, because it's such a small country, they're always very likable, and this entry is incredibly likable and feels very authentic. So that might be happening as well. Next, it's Latvia, Tautumetas Burman Laimi. This is another very divisive one, I think, even though I have heard most people like this. It's very impressive. It's very different from everything else, from anything else, really, not only in the final, but from anything I've heard, really. The staging is incredibly beautiful and impactful. The song is good. I'm just not sure whether for the televote it's instant enough. It's memorable. People will remember this. I fear that the juries might not like this enough because it is in the national language, very traditional in the instrumentation. They don't really love this. In the past, everything could be different this time. I'm not sure. The harmonies, the vocals should be good for the juries. That's another very hard one to predict. I think because it stands out so much, I'll put it in the top 15 for now. But I'm fearing that later on I have to put it lower because there aren't any spots left in the upper tiers there. Then we have Claude and C'est la vie. This is charting in a lot of countries. It went up the odds after the semi. Now it's been overtaken by France again. But I think that this could be the entry that a lot of televoters go for. There's an emotional moment at the end. It is very catchy as a song. And then for the juries, this is the kind of song that I don't really think a lot of jury members will go, I don't like this at all, and put this 21st or something. So I could see this be a bit of a compromise jury winner first, and then a compromise overall winner, or at least a song that does really, really well. He performs this really well, and the staging stands out as well in a year full of very bombastic stagings. The lead-in from Latvia, Iceland, Austria is quite visually impactful, and so this will feel like a breath of fresh air for people that don't like impactful entries. And overall, it stands out as a fun, catchy, poppy entry that is still staged not too bombastically. So people that like more stripped back stagings would go for this. So I'll put the Netherlands in the top 5. I think actually ahead of Austria and Israel. For now, yes. Then it's Erika Wigman and Ich komme. I'm laughing because I just enjoy watching the performance so much. This year we have a lot of jury-friendly entries, but a few of them got eliminated in the semis, and we have, I think, even more, I would say, televote-friendly entries. There's Malta, there's Armenia, there's Poland, there's, Estonia, Sweden, Albania, I think, is televote friendly, and we have Ukraine and Israel, which will do well in the televote as well. So I don't know how much is left at the end is the problem. So if Sweden gets a lot of the 12s and Israel also, and then Tommy Cash gets the 8s, if only 7s are left for Erika Wigman, that might mean the result is not as good as some people are expecting. Some people think she might win. So let's put Finland still, I think, in the top 5 for now, but it's already so full. I think I have to put Finland in the top 10. Even though she kind of deserves top 5 for that performance. I'll see. Maybe I'll change around a few things. Next, who do we have? A subscriber announcement, sorry. Do subscribe. Only a third of you watching this video are, and lots more stuff about Eurovision is going to come out tomorrow. My winner's prediction, a preview of what I saw in the jury final as well, the winner of Eurovision Knockout, and lots of other stuff. So do subscribe, and then we can continue, sorry. Next, it's Lucio Corsi, Volevo essere un duro for Italia. I love that this is charting in a lot of countries. So people are listening to this. They get the message. The subtitles were a smart idea. This feels very musical as well. He plays 3 different instruments. The harmonica he adds a lot more musicality to this. And I think the juries will like this. For the televote, the charts and all that suggest that this could do better than people are expecting, like it did in Sanremo. And then there's another thing. We have no countries from the former Yugoslavia in the final this year. So all of these points, these top points in the jury and the televote that might have gone to the other countries in that region have to go somewhere. I think Albania might profit from some of them. I think, who else did I think? Sweden could profit from that quite a bit. But I also think Italy might profit in Croatia, in Montenegro, because I think Albania as well, because I think Sanremo is quite big there as well, or at least people know about it and maybe have heard of this song. And some of them also speak Italian. So I would say that this is a surprise top 10. Not for me so surprising, but for a lot of people. I think this might actually happen. But the top spots are filling up very quickly, so might have to change a few things later. Then we have Justina and Gaia. This is another one like with Austria, where a lot of people love this and connect to it, and I haven't so much yet. I see that it is impressive, the dragon and the flying and the fiddle playing and everything that she does. And it did qualify, and I think this will have a lot of fans because it is very impressive, all the things she does, how she sings this. I think the problem for this one, in the televote, for this one, the problem might be the juries. not because of her vocals. They might give a few points for the vocals, but they don't really love these performances that have so many different elements in them. So I would think that Poland might start the night with not that many points on the jury, maybe, but then get a lot of points from the televote. So, and she's in direct competition maybe with Spain. I'll put it in the top 15 for now. For now. It might change later on. Okay, next we have Germany. My own country. I'm saying this because I might be biased, though usually I'm negatively biased because I have come to expect us to be in the bottom 6. However, there are some signs that that might not happen this year, maybe. This is charting in a few countries already. It is a catchy song. The staging is way above anything we've done in the recent past, I think. Michael Schulte was great, but everything else was kind of mid. And this is great staging. Maybe some Hungarians will help us. Maybe we'll get some points from Austria. So I really don't want to predict anything too outrageous for this, because then I'll be disappointed. But I think this might be another top 15 contender. And it's already full, so that's a problem. All right, let's continue, and I'll see at the end what I do. But at the juries, the juries, I forgot the juries for this. The vocals are not that great, and maybe the song is a bit too simple for the juries, so maybe that's why I'll put it lower into the top 20 for now. I got a bit, carried away there, maybe. Anyway, Claudia Asteromata, beautiful, beautiful vocals. This should get points from the juries for the vocals alone. The song is soaring and has a beautiful instrumentation, should get points for that as well. I think the Greek people or people with Greek roots will really feel connected to this, because the lyrics are about being connected to your homeland. And so I expect this to do rather well. In the mid in the televote, because as I said, a lot of the top points could already be taken. And in the juries, same thing. A lot of the juries might go for the more obvious jury choices, and this gets left with some of the lower points in both votes, which isn't necessarily bad, because it means that at least you get points. Maybe top 15 for now. This is very hard, I have to say. Park and Survivor. This is a big surprise from the semifinals. I think this could get a big televote, because it's really the only rock song, along with Lithuania and maybe Ukraine and maybe the second part of Italy. But the staging feels so much like a rock song as well. He does a lot. I think the juries, I'm not sure. It's in English. That could help. He sings it well. He sings it better every time. I feel like every rehearsal, every live performance, it sounds better. But maybe the staging is a bit too much for the juries, and also some of the less inclined towards these very intense visuals audience. That was a long sentence. People that don't like these intense visuals too much is what I'm trying to say. So I thought this would be very high up. Let's put it in the top 20 for now, and I'll come back to it later. We are coming closer to the end of the final, so there are a few more spots left. Then we have Zoe May and Voyage. I thought, after seeing this performance for the first time, and this is my favorite song. Again, I might be biased. After seeing the performance, I thought this is a potential shock winner, a Salvador Sobral moment. The staging for this is so beautiful. This could win the jury vote. It could take a lot of votes away from France, which might mean that, and maybe also some of the others, maybe also Austria, because if you love cinematic stagings, you have Austria, but you also have this very different ways of staging, but still quite artsy. The thing that worries me a bit is that this isn't charting in too many places. Maybe it's not the kind of song you listen to, even though I listen to it all the time. Maybe the camera problem in the semi is one of the reasons for that. And in the final, even more people connect to it. I think this makes the top 10. The juries will like this a lot. Maybe there, something like that. Oh God, this video is way too long, sorry. But this is not easy. Then we have Malta, Mirjana Conta and Serving. I'm not sure about this one. The juries will not love this. Her vocals are impressive, so maybe she'll get a few points for that. But otherwise, it's in English. It's kind of catchy, so maybe the juries might like it. Maybe. In the televote, I'm not sure. Again, this might just have a few of the lower points left if Kai, Israel, Tommy Cash, and all of these songs get a lot of the higher points in the televote. This might be. And the juries also have a lot of other songs to go for. So I'm a bit worried for Malta. I don't think I can put it in the bottom 6 because then maybe Luxembourg has to go in the bottom 6 for now. Because I know I have no places left. Then Portugal, Napa and Deslocado, starting to speak German. This was a shock qualifier, but now I think it is more and more clear why it is qualified. It is so stripped back. It is a bit like Italy and Switzerland. It's coming quite closely after Switzerland, but Malta is in between them, helping this to stand out, I think. A lot of people might connect to this because it's so stripped back. It's a band performance. It feels a bit like a lounge performance. It's not overstaged in any way. So this is another one that could get good jury points and also convince a few televoters. It's later on than Italy and Switzerland, which might help it. It feels wrong to put this in the bottom 6 because it feels like Eurovision fans just ignored this because it's not the kind of song we listen to, including myself. It feels wrong to put it there. Maybe I have to put Iceland in the bottom 6, unfortunately, but there are a lot of fun entries later on as well, and that might hurt Iceland a bit, even though it's so authentic. So I don't know. I really don't know, as you might notice. Then we have Sissel Hallucination for Denmark. Kind of a shock qualifier as well, but this is really, like Norway a bit, the only real standard pop song. There are others as well in English. That's what I mean. She performs it well. I'm not so sure about the chances for this one. I think this might have gotten through as 10th or 9th in the semi, and so I think this is a candidate for the lower points. The Nordic points could go to Finland and Sweden as well, and not that much is left for Iceland and Denmark. It is charting in quite a few places though, so maybe I'll have to change that in a second. Then, obviously, we have Sweden, Kai and Bara Bara Bastu, the big favorites to win. I think the odds at 41% or something they are at the moment are too high because I think that the juries might not like it. There is a scenario where they like it, put it third, like they did with Baby Lasagna, and then it's the clear overall winner, even though Baby Lasagna wasn't. But there's also a scenario where they don't get it at all, even though I think that chance is quite small. So, and the televote will love this. I'm quite certain about that. So I'll put it in the top 5 for now and rearrange that later. Then we have France. A lot of people have told me that the song is not strong enough. They like her, especially her ability to connect to the camera. I'm not so sure whether the staging will work. It worked for me in the semifinal, but there are some moments that feel a bit over choreographed. But again, for the juries, this could be the one that no one really dislikes and a few like, and so it gets a lot of points from the juries. And then in the televote, I think people will be impressed by the staging, which is beautiful. They have given points, a lot of points to Barbara Pravi and also Slimane. So why wouldn't they give points to this? And it is, let me check, out of the last 5 songs, really the only ballad in this lineup. And some people love ballads and will go for it. And also the whole story, Maman, I think it comes across what the song is about. This will connect to a lot of people, either mamans or children of mamans, which is almost the entire population, really. So I think France will do quite well I'll rearrange that in a second. Then we have San Marino and Albania left. And I have 2 spots in the bottom 6, and that is not what is going to happen. For Albania, at least. So let's talk about San Marino. I think the audience likes this. A lot of people are listening to it on streaming platforms. It is a cool, catchy song. The staging is okay. It's not outstanding, but it is very, very late in the running order as well. So I think this has the potential to be one of the better entries for the best entry, the best place for San Marino in a grand final. So I would put San Marino maybe here, and then I have to move a few things around. I'll put maybe Poland, but she has so much fan support also. They will vote for her in big numbers, so I have to change that again, sorry. Poland up, and who here? Maybe Spain? Unfortunately, maybe it is Spain because it is so early on in the running order, but it does stand out also. Maybe it's Norway, maybe Latvia, maybe Greece, maybe Greece. Let's put Spain up here again because that's where they belong, I think. And then the bottom 6, I need one more. I don't think it's Armenia. Maybe it is Portugal. It has this very specific vibe, but maybe that also means it doesn't stand out all that much. Because I think Italy, you get the message because of the subtitles, and Switzerland, you get what she's trying to do with the intimate staging for Deslocado. It is pretty well staged, but it doesn't really tell you what the song is about. So maybe people that like this sort of music gravitate more towards Italy or Switzerland. I could see that happen. And then Albania got an amazing running order position. Let me go back to the image of Beatrice and Cole there. Amazing running order position for them. And also the kind of entry that will do incredibly well in the televote, even though not a lot of points might be left. But this will do well in the end, I think. The juries are a bit of a question mark because this is the kind of entry that in the past they have kind of ignored. They ignored Shum almost completely. They don't like national language entries. They don't like traditional elements, which this has. And also the spoken word part might go over their heads a bit, maybe. I don't know. But I think that Albania will be doing incredibly well. And then I would put Albania in the top 5 for now, actually, because it's such a catchy song, and I think people will really connect to this, and especially as it's last in the running order, people will remember that, and it might get a lot of points. Let's see. Okay, so Albania in the top 5, that means I have to put one of each tier, one tier lower. That will be hard, so let's see. I'll start in the top 20. No, I'll start in the top 15. I think that maybe Latvia, I'm overvaluing a little bit. Unfortunately, it is quite special, but maybe it's a bit too special to really stand out, which gives me the possibility. Let's see. Italy, I think will be top 10, maybe not that high. Switzerland, I think Estonia is top 10, definitely. I think Ukraine. Ukraine or Switzerland? Maybe Switzerland. Because the competition with Italy might be too big, maybe. And then there's also France. Then there's all these French entries. And it's not charting in all that many countries. So maybe that makes sense. And then going to the top 5, I think the Netherlands are not that sure. I think Albania is even... Yeah, maybe the Netherlands. I'll put the Netherlands in the top 10, though. I think this will do well. It could do top 5. And I think that Albania will do better than Austria, and both will do better than Israel, maybe. So then in the bottom 6, we need one more. It might be Germany, actually. Looking at this, it is possibly Germany. even though I don't really want that to happen. But this will mean that I won't be disappointed in the end. So I'll put Germany in the bottom 6. Let's see. Last for the UK could be true. I think Iceland will do better than Portugal. Luxembourg will do better than Portugal, maybe. But I'm quite unsure about a lot of this. Let's see again. In the top, I actually think at the moment that France might be a better compromise winner at the moment. I think Albania maybe might do worse than Austria because of the juries, but Austria is quite divisive. I don't know. I really don't know. So then we have the Netherlands, Finland, Italy, Estonia, Ukraine. That sounds like a possible top 10. Switzerland, Spain, Norway, San Marino, and Poland. Poland and Spain are kind of fighting, I think, for the girl bob votes a little bit. San Marino might be a bit high. I think I'll put Greece back up here and San Marino down here, even though they will get a lot of votes from maybe also the ex-Yugoslavia countries, possibly. And Malta seems low as well, but who knows? Malta didn't stand out as much as Finland, I think. I do believe, even though it's later in the running order, which might help it. Anyway, I will stick with this. This is my prediction for the grand final of Eurovision 2025. You can come back Saturday night or Sunday morning and tell me how wrong I was. However, for the winners, as I said, I will be doing an updated prediction tomorrow after seeing the jury final and seeing what has happened maybe. And then we shall see. Between Sweden and France, I'm really unsure. So it makes sense to make an update. Thank you for watching. I hope this wasn't too long. And this is my prediction. Do subscribe to the channel. More stuff is coming tomorrow, especially. So subscribe if you don't want to miss that. And then I might see you in my next video. See you then, and bye-bye.